Grab your favorite cup of tea and 2 colors of fabric that couldn't be more different, because today we're playing with opposites. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Jackie and I love using scrap fabric to create quilt blocks, Quilt-As-You-Go blocks, and other scrappy projects. In today's video, we're working on day 3 of the 30-day quilt challenge. Today's prompt is opposites, 2 colors from opposite sides of the color wheel. I picked out some red and some greens. I'm using reds and greens for mine. And if you need a color wheel to help you pick your colors, I'll leave a link in the description box so that you can download one from Gathered. And here is what it looks like. I did laminate mine. For each day, a prompt will be provided to help you generate ideas for quilt blocks. And I've got a free prompt sheet for you to download, and the link for this prompt sheet is in the description box below as well. I'll be making my blocks 12-inch square, and on the last day, we'll complete the final block and assemble the block in a Quilt-As-You-Go fashion. The inspiration for today's block is my favorite quilter, Eleanor Burns, and the technique is twice as nice. You may have seen me do this before on the channel, but I think it'll be perfect for our reds and greens. And it's so easy, no pattern needed. I will be using my 9.5-inch triangle square up ruler, and I'll show you how I use that. But if you don't have one of these rulers, it's not necessary. You can just make your own triangles with a ruler that has a 45-degree angle on it. So it just looks like that. And of course, these are prompts. This is about color, so you don't even have to make the block like I am. I just thought it would be really cool to use this technique for the different colors. But you make yours however you'd like. I created some mini jelly rolls. These are all 2.5 strips. We're going to combine the strips and cut them into triangles and then reassemble them into the block. It's that easy. So what you're going to need is some scrap fabric cut into 2.5-inch strips if you're doing your prompt like mine. You'll need a backing fabric that's 12.5 inches and a piece of batting or flannel that's 12.5 inches. And your basic sewing notions. So let's get started. As I mentioned, today's prompt is opposites, 2 colors from opposite sides of the color wheel. Well, we're getting pretty fancy here in the Junk Gal studio because we're using a color wheel. And it just looks like this, and you can download it from free from Gather. And so it even has the arrow so you can tell what the opposites will be. So we have green and red, or you could go over here and do violet and yellow. How fun is that? And then it has other settings on here we may use in future prompts. And like I said, I just laminated this, and you have a quilter color wheel. So like I said, today I'm using green and red. I've got some mini jelly rolls here that I just made myself. They're just 2.5-inch strips. So I need to pick, well, here's my 2 greens. I just have to decide which red I want. And I think I'm going to go with this. So I'll put these to the side because I can make more. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to do red in the center, and then green. And some of these I did have to connect. And I want them to be at least 24 inches long. You can see here how I needed to connect that so that I would have enough. Then here's my other green. And we are simply going to connect this to this and this to this. So easy. I'm going to do that and then I'll be right back. I sewed my 3 strips together and it looks like this. Kind of looks Christmassy, doesn't it? Then next, I grab my ruler, the Quilt in a Day 9.5 inch triangle square up ruler. Of course, you don't need it. And I will give you the measurements of the triangles in case you want to just do it with other rulers. But I'm going to be placing the edge of the ruler on this 9 mark. And I'll show you that. From edge to edge, and I'll just go right on the 9 mark. There's a mark for 9 on there. Line that up. Take my rotary cutter and make a triangle, just like that. Keep this in the scrap pile. Then we'll turn this upside down and go 9 from the other side. Just like that. And cut. Now we have 2. Flip it back around. Put it on the 9 mark. Just like that. Put this to the side. Flip it back around. And on the 9 mark. Just like that. And then we can keep this for the scrap pile. And then you're just going to take these, put them together, just like that. And like that. And like that. And then we will just flip these 2 and sew them. And flip these 2 and sew them. We are going to put these together. Like that, and sew. And we'll flip this up and sew this together. Once I have, and I am going to put a pin so I know where I'm sewing. Just like that, and like that. All right, I'm going to sew that and I'll be right back. Easy peasy, back from the sewing machine. And it looks like this. Perfectly imperfect. And then like this. And then I am going to press these seams and set them. And then I will flip them just like this and sew them together. And I told you I would give you the measurements of this triangle just for reference. The triangle on the bottom is 12.5 and the sides are 9 and 9. So 12.5 on the bottom, 9 inches and 9 inches. Let's open this up. I'll match up that seam in the center. We'll go ahead and nest the seam. Put a pin in there. And I think this block was perfect for opposites. And I'll simply do my 1/4 inch seam allowance here. Here is our block, guys. Totally opposites. How fun is that? Next, what I need to do, I do have a piece of batting down, and this is just scrap batting. I had to sew 2 pieces together to get 1 piece of batting. And then here is my backing, and again I needed to sew some pieces together for the backing as well, which is fine. This is a scrap fabric project, but it looks nice on the back, and once I quilt it, it'll look even better. I'm just going to put a few pins in here, take it over to the sewing machine and do a little quilting. I think I'll do swirlies today. I'll just start in the center and swirl out. When I have that done, I'll be back to show you the block. All right, here is our block. And it is ready to be squared up. So we'll go ahead and do that. And here's how I quilted it. I just used some swirlies on there. How fun is that? And here's what the back looks like. All swirly. So let's get this in here to the 6. I may need to move it over just a little. All right, let's go with that first. Turn this around. Put that on the 12. And it does look like we're just a little short. So we're going to leave it, I can trim a little here. And that probably happened when I did the swirly quilting. It kind of sucked it up, which is fine because I can hide this in the seam allowance when I go to join all the quilts, so it'll be fine. Disappointing, but fine. Yeah, it's perfectly fine, guys. We don't worry about things like that. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. Today's Bible verse is from Proverbs 31, verse 22. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. There's such beauty in opposites, light and dark, warm and cool, soft and strong. This verse reminds us that the same hands that create something beautiful also reflect divine wisdom and care. As you piece together your contrasting fabrics today, may you be reminded that even life's differences and opposites can come together in perfect harmony through God's design. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and commenting. I can't thank you all enough. It truly means the world to me. And until the next video, God bless you.